Now you may go. Okay, big thing. So there was mention of constant fear of losing your job. I just read a book that they put in my library at my school, at my small Jewish private school. I'm the Yom Kippur Bible. Not happy. I didn't eat for 26 hours. So they put this book, and I'm not sure if it was like a subtweet at the teachers, but it was literally, it was teach like your hair is on fire. That was the title. And the point of the book was you should not teach like American Revolution. The American Revolution! Very important! That's the way you should do it. You should be teaching like you're youthful, like you're energetic, like you love what you teach. Nobody gets into teaching for the money. Nobody. It's a fact. I had a conversation with my English teacher. In fact, I insulted him in a way. It was like nobody gets into teaching for the money. He actually said that, and it's true. And the thing is, teachers should be in constant fear of losing their jobs because education transforms. We don't teach the same things we teach in the 60s. We definitely don't. We teach with new methods. We teach with new technologies, and we need to make sure those are implemented. We can't just handcuff teachers to their classrooms with tenure. It's mysterious, it's dark, and it's unconstitutional. Thank you all. God bless. I'm Adam Jacob.
Thanks, George. You don't need it.
Greetings, ladies and gentlemen. My name is Corey Elder. I go to University Preparatory School. First of all, I'd like to state that it's not a private school. Anyway, so regarding the topic of whether or not teacher tenure would improve the quality of students and improve the quality of education. First of all, Adam, I hate to point this out, but we cannot look at whether or not it's constitutional because that is not in the resolution. It is whether or not it will, getting rid of teacher tenure will improve the quality of education. First of all, I'd like to bring forward a couple things. A lot of people have said it is hard to get rid of teachers. That is correct. But if the administrator really wants to get rid of the teacher, they can. Honestly, I'm telling you this from experience. 4 of my teachers were fired from my school last year. 3 of them were moved to other schools due to the fact that they apparently were not good enough at educating their students. Additionally, my principal, the problem with getting rid of tenure would be that principals have far too much power. Earlier, people mentioned the fact that some principals decided not to try to get rid of teachers due to the fact that it was too hard. First of all, I think that we should look at the administrator there because the administrator's job is to mandate how well the teachers are teaching and get rid of the teachers that aren't doing well. So if you have a teacher that's like, if you have a principal who is saying, hey, I don't want to get rid of that person because it costs too much money, you have a problem with the principal, not your teacher. Additionally, or well, you have a problem with both, but your principal needs to do something about it. All right, so additionally, my father teaches at my school, so I'll admit, I may have a little bit of bias. All right, so my father is absolutely positively the most hated person on that campus. I have had many people go, I personally in my dad's class, I've heard many people talk about how excellent my dad is as a teacher and how amazing, how he has affected the lives of so many students. But the problem is that I have an administrator who hates the hell out of my father. Now, my father would have been fired from this school before he probably even started teaching. That's how much this woman hates him. And you know what? The problem is, like I said before, the administrator would have far too much power to get rid of the teachers in which they just didn't like. Not the teachers that didn't provide good education to the students. Now, Adam, you mentioned something earlier. You said, no, where are you? All right, that was fun. All right, so you mentioned something earlier, wherever you may be, that no teacher gets into it for money. That is correct, because people have a dedication for wanting to teach kids to learn. Now, the thing is that if many of you raised your hands earlier saying that you had a teacher in which you learned absolutely nothing in that class, how many of you can say for absolute certain that that person has never taught one other student in your grade, in your class ever? Exactly. Or well, sure, why not? Can I get a time extension for
Motion.
45 seconds?
Motion to extend speaker's time to 45 seconds.
You're a good person.
Second.
All of you are good people.
Aye.
All of you are really good people. All right, anyway, so I was making a good point. Well, these people have a dedication to teaching the students. Oh yeah, how many of you have had a teacher who you can positively say for sure that nobody learned from their class? That's because the idea of whether or not somebody learned is but an opinion. Not everybody learns the exact same way. In fact, how many of you out there learn exactly the same way that I do? Precisely. You cannot take account for every single student in which that teacher is taught, because of the fact that it's all a matter of opinion. If somebody is a visual learner and you have a class that is, but the teacher likes to speak verbally, teach verbally, then that visual learner isn't going to do that well. Overall, it's all going to be all right because we're different people and blah blah and didn't know Anyone did wrong? No one? What did the rest do for?
Hi, my name is Daphne Dauber. I'm from Del Mar High School. So resolved that California's repeal of teacher tenure will improve the quality of education in the state. Teachers are a critical part of the academic success of students in this state. I believe that only the best and the most capable teachers should retain their jobs. The teacher tenure system favors the seniority of teachers over the teachers that have a greater work ethic. Teachers under the system believe that they only have to work hard for the first 3 years, and then they relax, and then they become less driven to actually teach. And teacher tenure is a key policy that divides the level of education in private and charter schools with that of public schools. Private and charter schools who do not have the teacher tenure system encourage a form of competition between the teachers at their school. Teachers who underperform will easily be replaced by teachers who have a genuine passion for what they do. In public schools, the teacher tenure system makes firing an underperforming teacher a lengthy process that would cost the district lots of time and money. Also, the Tenure Act maintains a policy of last hired, first fired, which means that during times of budget cuts, teachers who are young would be laid off first. These young teachers are usually the ones with new ideas and a passion for what they do. Is it fair to lay them off just because they haven't stayed at the school long enough? A June 1st, 2009 study by the New Teacher Project found that 81% of school administrators knew an underperforming tenured teacher at their school, but 86% of these administrators said they do not always pursue the dismissal of these teachers because of the amount of time and the amount of money it would cost. The United States as a whole has an international student assessment score of 481, compared to the mean score of 494 in the world. Let's face it, the United States is lagging behind in education, and a piece of that puzzle to fix this situation is the repeal of teacher tenure. I believe that by repealing teacher tenure in California and the United States, we will be on track to providing a better quality of education for all people. I yield the rest of my time.
Yeah, negative. This guy.
Hello, my name is Justin Hester, go to Del Mar High School. I'm speaking on that we should abolish teacher tenure. First of all, what teacher tenure is. So teacher tenure is granted on the first day of your third year as a teacher. And there are prerequisites, and the process can't be accelerated in any way. It has to be renewed. You must be hired for your third year. You must have high evaluations. And if someone's trying, so after you have teacher tenure, the process to get fired, you have the principal and the administrator is supposed to have proof and document required to fire you. So the system isn't too unjust in that way, and you do get fired, so it's not like you're totally protected from anything. And a new principal, when there's no teacher tenure, a new principal can fire any teacher at any time for any reason without teacher tenure. And it could be whether they don't like the teacher, don't agree with their methods, and it's a very unjust system. So I have a bunch of teachers I don't agree with, I don't like. I think there's no reason they should be teaching. I don't know why they want to teach, because they're mean. But by not giving teacher tenure to experienced teachers who have high evaluations, it is very unjust, and they will be fired just because the principal doesn't agree with their methods, which I think is completely wrong. The power is greatly misused by principals and can be. And also, seniority should result in promotions and increased salaries, because more experienced teachers do a better job. In life, you get promotions, you go higher up. You don't start at the top, you start at the bottom, and you work your way up. That's how the system works. And even though I don't agree with teacher tenure, I think it should be changed. I don't think it should be abolished in any way, because it's unjust and it screws over the lives of the teachers. And that's it. I yield more time for questions.
Do you think one of the only ways that teachers should get tenure is not necessarily through time, because you said you want it to be changed, not through time, but through the level of success on standardized tests alone, or how should teachers get tenure?
How should it be changed?
No, how do teachers get it?
How do they get it?
Yes, how would they fix it?
I think there should be more checks and balances. I mean, so once you get teacher tenure, there should be more checks and balances into how you can lose it. And I think once you get it, it's kind of hard to get rid of it. But I do think the system's pretty good, where you have to be there 2 full years, and on your 3rd year you get it. And I mean, like I said, you have to be hired for your 3rd year, so you're not. So there's that, and you must have high evaluations from students and administrators.
Any other questions?
Okay, so what would you do about
So in motion.
About 30 seconds, please. About 30 seconds starting after the question.
Okay,
Second.
okay, so what do you think about teachers who are lazy or don't feel like teaching after they've acquired their teaching? What do you think about bad teachers who have acquired their teaching? And you said it was hard to fire them after. So what would you do about that anyways?
Well, in a perfect world, I would get rid of them if they're not doing their job right. But like I said, there has to be proof and document that they're not doing their job right. And if someone's got to go and everyone knows they got to go, I mean, they will get fired. That's usually the bottom line. And obviously, it's a lot harder with teacher tenure. But when we get to that level where you're not doing your job well, you're not educating your students, you're getting really bad reports, you're not going to get hired. Thank you, guys.
All right, anyone in the room?
All right, right there.
Oh, sorry, we're on pro now. Okay.
My name is this is my first day here, so I'm very excited about this. Giving for the everything that I'm having. So I am on the side. So basically, what I kind of really do agree with abolishing this move, the tenure. For instance, old teachers, they kind of like tend to just get tired, and lazier and lazier. And however, with new teachers, they come in with new energy. And with that new energy, they bring new ideas. And with those new ideas, they bring fun activities. They make it more interesting. They make everything just so much better that it brings you excited to learn. But those old teachers is just, it's just like I was saying, just dull, and they just, you have to like, here you go, let's do this, and you'll learn. So I agree with the point I was brought up earlier by him, that we may not all have like the same way of learning things, but the teacher's job is to be able to like reach on all levels of learning, whether it's visual or vocal or just like doing a fun activity. That's their job. They're supposed to be able to like, reach out to all students, no matter how they want to learn, and to just bring it all into one thing. Teachers that also get lazier, they tend to do nothing. And if they do nothing, you learn nothing. And if we learn nothing, then that really affects America as it is. For whatever the job we want, like if we want to run for a job such as Congress, or if we want to be a CEO of a business, then we're not going to be able to learn what we need, the essentials in order to achieve that. So we need those teachers who actually like, inspire us to learn. That way we can achieve it, and maybe sometimes even go further and beyond like what we even expect it to be or want it to be. Let's see here. This is pretty much it. That's all I have.
Any questions?
How are you so sure that when a new teacher is brought in, that they're going to be like, more high energy and better than the old?
Think about it like this: like you're a kid and you're okay. Think about like a little flashback here. You're a little kid and you got a new toy versus an old toy here. You would probably play more with the new toy. Like it's just new to you, and you're just so excited to feel that energy. That old toy is just in the so.
If we were to get rid of teacher tenure, would you suggest that we base the requirements for whether or not we should fire a teacher off of standardized tests?
Not entirely.
No, that's the answer I was looking for.
All right.
Hi guys, so I'm also biased because my mom is a English teacher, so I'm against tenure. But I'm also an AP student, and the reason that I'm speaking in favor of tenure is because specifically the point of bringing up about new teachers trying new things, the question that someone over here just asked. New teachers aren't necessarily going to try new things compared to old teachers. It's about your motivation, and whether or not it's teaching for a long time as a teacher and continue having motivation. However, if we eliminate tenure and we bring in new teachers, those teachers have to be sure that their students are performing at a level high enough that they won't get fired in their first year, which is the same thing as before. But let's say a teacher is in their third or fourth year, right? They're still trying to figure out what is effective, but they're not necessarily going to try new things because they don't know if those things are going to be effective. If their students don't perform at a high enough level because they tried a new kind of teaching that didn't happen to be as effective as they thought, that teacher is now open to be fired for trying something new. Tenure protects the teachers who want to try new things, even if those teachers are older. And I have AP teachers that try new things constantly. AP teachers are reevaluated by the scores that their students receive on the AP exams, and they try new things, but they are restrained in the way that their students are going to be according to those things. Like tenure does need to be minimally reformed because reevaluation, I think, would be the best solution. Whether or not the teacher is protected monetarily from being fired, and whether or not it's extremely difficult or slightly difficult to fire a teacher, we're not looking to make teachers the enemies in this situation. We're looking to We're not looking to make teachers the enemy of the situation. We're trying to get better education for our students. And the way to do that best would be to continually evaluate how teachers are teaching their effectiveness.
Any questions?
In your opinion, what would be a requirement for teachers to be?
I assume that has to go off the public report requirements and whatever all, but there is something in place like nationally. I assume that you have to go off the report on this test. Although I do not think that standardized testing is the best way to evaluate students.
Would you agree with the fact that basing their tests, how well they teach off of their student scores is a little bit biased, since different people have different classes and stuff like that? Yes, go ahead. I think that answered.
All right. Got a couple of points from throughout the debate. So if you cannot accurately gauge the amount of learning by a student, it's pretty much been established through almost every speaker said that standardized testing is not the way to do that. And so if you can't accurately gauge the amount of learning a student is doing because of the teacher, then you can't fire a teacher for not teaching the students, not having them learn. If we can't even tell if they're learning or not, if we're just basing it off of if the students like the teacher or not, right? We have to have an actual way of knowing of figuring out if the students are learning. Which, if standardized tests aren't the way, we need to figure out a way. We can't just do it as tenure right now. And with unemployment so high in our state, California has one of the highest unemployment rates. How can we justify making it easier to fire teachers, people who dedicate their lives to teaching our children to be better, or to know more and to be better and to elevate our future? How can we make it easier to fire those people who are doing it not for the money and further our state's unemployment rates? Further, if tenure teachers suck, no easy way to put it, right? If they're bad teachers, then why not help them become better teachers and keep their job and help them become better teachers, so then we have more good teachers instead of just firing people, sending them out on the streets, right? If we help them to be better, then it's a win-win. No one gets fired and we have a better teacher. Finally, there will always, to go off of what one of the subsequent pro speakers said, there will always be new teachers, regardless of if we fire all the old teachers or not. People retire, people get old, unfortunately, people die, whatever the reason is, people stop teaching, and then we need to hire new teachers. So there will always be new teachers, and there will always be old teachers. But under tenure, so there is no reason to fire all of the old teachers and get new teachers anyway. So I have a challenge for you. Vote to keep teacher tenure. Dare I say, vote to keep teacher tenure. To go off that Barney Stinson thing from earlier. And if you do, I promise that the outcome of this debate will be legend. Wait for it. Staring.
Hi guys, it's me again, I'm back. I think there's kind of a misconception about what my point is on a lot of the opponents of these speakers. I'm not saying we go out and we fire all of the old teachers. If you're 60 or older, you're gone. I'm not saying that. I'm just saying teachers who are underperforming and who should no longer be teachers, those are the ones we should be fired. Like me, the opposing speaker said, they have teachers in their family. I have 4 teachers in my family. I know all about the teaching in California's public school system. And they all disagree with the way teacher tenure is done now. 91% of administrators in California's public school systems no longer want teacher tenure done the way it is today. I'm not saying we need to remove tenure completely. We need tenure. But the way it's done right now is absolutely horrendous for our education. I think about it like, think about a business. If I'm the CEO of a company and I have this guy, he's been working for me for 20 years. He's done a great job all that time. But then all of a sudden, he just starts coming to work, he makes paper airplanes maybe, he doesn't really do anything. I'm not gonna say, you know what, Bob, you've been working for 20 years, so I'll keep you on even though you're not doing anything. No, I'm gonna fire that guy, I'm gonna hire someone new who's actually gonna do their job. And that's what we need to do in California schools. And there was a point brought up about how they don't have enough time to really establish their method of teaching and become good at it. That's not the issue. The issue is that they have too much time to become bad teachers. It's teachers who are good in the beginning and then later become complacent because they have tenure and they know they can't be fired. Those are the teachers we need to target. I want teachers who come to work every single day caring about their students and caring about what they learn. I want them to be worried about their job security. I want them to want to teach their best every single day, rather than just coming to school and treating it like it's a regular 9 to 5, just come in, do nothing, go home. I don't want that kind of teacher. I want a teacher who's passionate about their students and is passionate about the subject that they teach. And also, there's a point brought up about how it's a myth that teachers can't be fired, and there's a statistic brought in from New York that 50 teachers were fired. We're not in New York. This resolution reads that California's teacher tenure system needs to be repealed, not New York. So that entire statistic is irrelevant to this resolution. Yeah, I mean, we just need to vote. We need to vote yes on this resolution because teacher tenure is what is killing our public school education. And my name is Casey Daniel. Vote yes. Thank you.
Resolve that California curriculum teacher tenure will improve the quality of education in the state. If you all are for the if you're for the resolution, please stand.
Alright, sit down, guys. Wrong one. No. Oh, wait. I'm close. Alright.
Okay.
Hi guys, I have a quick announcement. So to the end of the teacher tenure debate. Sorry, we're passing out best speaker ballots right now. In block 2, in Moss Cove, we have a thought talk on water crisis, and as well as musical chairs, and which is really fun. And we also have a debate in here on nuclear power. So after you vote for best speaker, just head to one of the rooms. Okay, thanks. Can everybody silence, quiet down so that everybody can introduce themselves?
Hi, I'm Adam Jacobs. Thank you. Hi, I'm Adam Jacobs. I spoke on the fraud was the first subsequent.
Hi, I'm Corey.
Hi, I'm Corey Elder, an elder like an old person, and I move from the County.
Zachary Bauer, I spoke from Pro.
I'm Casey McDaniel. I was the main speaker for the Pro.
One.
Doug Wilson, I was the main speaker for the Out. Justin Madison, I was.
Does nobody touch it? Yeah. All right. Thank you. 5 minutes. Everything's earlier by 20 minutes.
Just a reminder, every block it has been like moved 20 minutes earlier, so just take note of that. So the next block starts like now, not 10:50.
Hi guys. Are you Francis' sister? You should go to musical chairs. That's where like you, Sarah, and Allison. It'll be like a really good experience. We start talking about heels and then it's like guys they're like really cute You guys, wait, I want to go.
Okay, basically we're gonna go.
Let's go. Let's go right now. Right now, me man here.
So this is unplugged. Unplugged.
Hi. So you look like if two of our good friends had a baby, it would look like you. So can we take a picture of you?
Can I see the friends?
Yeah, sure.
Can I see the friend?
Absolutely.
All right.
He is Persian. Are you Persian?
Yes.
One's Persian and one's Brazilian.
Brazilian?
Yes. Okay, so. This is the first Oh, there you go. This is our friend. So you look exactly like him.
Well, I didn't know I looked like an Asian lady. Wearing white. Yeah, you can take a photo.
Waiting on you, that face. Oh, I'm sorry.
Oh.
I'm
Okay.
gonna be using that picture.
No, you've got to move this chair. Hold on, let me stop this live stream.
This is what Merman says.